Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, the DealerOn Academy Q1 Automotive Marketing Briefing. My name is Amirrezvani, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. We just got back from NADA, where we were awarded the Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Award for the top-rated websites for an unprecedented 6th year in a row. We also took home the AWA Award for Best Websites, plus FCA announced that we're now an approved vendor. It's been a heck of a 2017. We're still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. You want to know more? Yeah, you do. You can check us out at DealerOn.com. And DealerOn is headed to Tampa in just a few weeks for the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention, April 11th through the 13th. And we're bringing some serious heat. First, we're giving away $50 for pre-scheduling a demo at the show. That's not all. Shaun and Greg Gifford will be there too, giving in-depth presentations to rock your world. Shaun will be talking about prioritizing digital marketing channels, and Greg will tell you how to gain local visibility in Google searches. And if you stop by booth 411, Greg will hand you a hard copy of the new book he wrote on local SEO. It's over 60 pages, and it is awesome. So remember, booth 411, hope to see you there. We have a great show in store for you today. We are very pleased to have members of the DealerOn Executive Team to speak to us today about current automotive marketing updates, industry perspectives, and best practices. This webinar is packed with great information, and it's designed to be a fully interactive exchange with all the time dedicated to your Q&A. Today's members of the DealerOn leadership team are Chris Deringer. He's our Chief Marketing Officer for DealerOn and is responsible for leading DealerOn's marketing and operational functions like product marketing, product management, brand building. He does a lot, let's just say that. We also have Shaun in the house. He's our Vice President of Business Development. And of course, Greg Gifford, our Director of Search and Social. I can't even look at him without smiling. All right, here we go. During the presentation, if you have questions, we hope you do, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, well, all through the presentation, we're going to be answering your questions. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at AutoHook are sponsoring this week's webinar giveaway. AutoHook is a showroom traffic driver. They've built the ultimate attribution engine, which tracks the customer through the lead, showroom visit, and purchase, and then delivers a cost per sale that's best in the industry. One lucky webinar attendee is going to win a $250 e-gift card from AutoHook. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned. And who knows, you might be the one walking away with this awesome prize today. For more information about AutoHook, visit driveautohook.com. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to get a short survey. So fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. We want to know what you thought of today's presentation. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation. So you can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Amirrezvani. And of course, you can always hit up Greg Gifford at GGifford and Shaun at, you guessed it, Shaun. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. All right, let's get started with the DealerOn Academy Q1 Automotive Marketing Briefing. First, let's say hi to everyone. I see Greg has his camera on. Shaun, I don't know where he went. And then we also have Chris Deringer. Chris, where are you, sir?
I'm right here, Eliana. I apologize to everyone out there that I don't have my camera on, but it's probably the best for both of us, all of us.
I have a sneaky suspicion you just didn't brush your hair. But anyway, we're going to start off with Chris Deringer. He has a bunch of stuff to update everyone on with all the awesome things that have been happening with DealerOn this year. So Chris, if you're ready, we'd love to hear all of the good stuff that DealerOn has been doing, and maybe even you'll clue us in on some stuff that's coming down the pike.
Absolutely. So, Eliana, you already touched on some of the big news that we've had over the last few months. At NADA, we were able to, along with our partners at FCA, officially announce that we are one of the 3 new website providers in the FCA program. So if you're a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, or Alfa dealer somewhere in the United States, please reach out to us. The second wave of enrollments, the sign-up deadline for the second wave of sites to go live on the FCA program actually just concluded yesterday. But if you'd like to be in the third wave, which should be going live on the DealerOn platform in June, that sort of time frame, please sign up within the next few weeks so that we can help you out and bring you onto the DealerOn platform. Also, we have begun launching our mini sites now that we are part of the mini OEM program. So again, if you're a mini dealer, if you're a BMW dealer, please reach out to us. We would love to be able to help you out there. NADA was, as Eliana alluded to, also a time where we won a couple of very prestigious awards, the AWA Award for our website platform and the Driving Sales Award for the 6th year in a row. We were chosen as a top-rated website provider. Again, that is entirely voted on by dealers, validated dealership personnel and employees. So it's an award we're very proud of because it shows the dedication and the partnership that we have with our dealer clients. A couple of the things that we are going to be launching here in the next few weeks and the next quarter. We have built out an integrated digital retailing suite. We are currently beta testing it with a couple of our clients. It's going to be called Click to Buy. We've actually launched it as part of the FCA program, and it allows a dealer to actually take a consumer from shopping for a vehicle through the financing, through all aspects of the purchase program, and if the consumer so chooses, and you're part of the state, if you're in one of the states where we are able to conclude a transaction online, it can be a full end-to-end digital retail transaction for a vehicle. I'm not aware of another website provider that has integrated it to the extent that we have, so I encourage folks to reach out to DealerOn, either Shaun or another member of our sales or business development team to get a little more information about that. Also, we're rolling out an integrated parts platform. So dealers can actually basically add a new profit center to their website. We can either use your OEM catalog and upload all of that onto your website so that you have a unique page for every part and accessory in your OEM catalog, or if you've got your own parts inventory that you would like us to incorporate on your website, we can do either one of those. And it actually is an e-commerce turnkey solution, so folks in your area can buy parts directly from you online. They can either come pick them up at the dealership, or as part of our solution, we can drop ship them directly to your consumers. So we've got some dealers that have added, $60, $70, $100,000 in incremental part sales using this platform. It then also allows you to do some fixed operations parts advertising through AdWords and product listing ads. So both of those things are going to be huge focuses for DealerOn in Q2. And I encourage you, again, if you're interested in being part of our beta program, please reach out to someone like Shaun. The one other thing is, on our website platform, we are now rolling out a secured version of the platform. Greg, I'm sure, can speak to the SEO implications of ensuring that your website is fully secure for Google. And we also have augmented the incentives, the incentive structure on all of our SRPs and DDPs so that dealers can incorporate any and all manufacturer incentives along with their own incentives and provide a very nice looking breakout of how all their incentives lay out, and then to be able to highlight and show savings on both our SRPs and their VDPs. We've seen a fairly significant increase in the amount of leads submitted through the inventory module of our platform, so I would again encourage anyone who's on the DealerOn platform already talk to their account reps about how they might set that up for their site. And if you're not on the DealerOn platform yet, you might want to reach out again to someone like Shaun and find out a little more about that and whether it might be worthwhile for your dealership. So Eliana, I know that people want to get straight into the content from our experts here, so I will I'll thank you guys for your time. I will be in and out trying to answer questions as I can, but I'm sort of double booked here, so please shout out to me if you don't immediately get me to respond to a question.
Okay, I will try my best. Chris, thank you so much for the amazing updates. Wow, we have a lot of stuff going on. Plus, we're going to be a digital dealer. So audience, as you heard me say before, if you'd like a presentation or you'd like to see, I don't know, our back end or the new FCA platform or whatever it is, this new parts program, if you want to see any of that, hey, stop by our booth 411 in Tampa at Digital Dealer. Now, Greg, you're going to be talking there as well, but we have a lot to get to today, sir. So if you don't mind, Kayla has been stalking me on Facebook. She wants the answer to this question, so I told her to show up today and ask you directly. So here we go. Kayla.
Oh my gosh, so much pressure.
Kayla's our first questioner today.
Kayla, I can't answer it today. You're going to have to come see me at Digital Dealer.
Kayla, you're going to be a digital dealer? All right, Kayla wants to know. She says she's looking for tips on what to blog about for local SEO on our blog site. Where can they get content for blogs?
Pretty much watch yesterday's Wednesday workshop videos. Steve is my number 2 in command of the SEO department, and he spoke at an SEO conference last month, and his entire presentation was about how to write awesome local content. And he breaks down the difference between revenue-generating content and non-revenue-generating content and why you want to do each kind and how you can audit your site to figure out what sorts of content tools you have so that you know what you need to write about. And he's got some really great stuff in there about, you know, sure, oil changes are boring, but how can you write about oil changes and make them exciting? So there's a ton of stuff in yesterday's video. It's about 13 or 14 minutes long, so it's longer than most of our videos, but it's right now the best place you can go to figure out great stuff to write.
Wonderful. And just so you know, Kayla, I believe next month, April 20th, I want to say, Steve is going to be presenting a DealerOn webinar with us, and he is a great guy. His brain is amazing, so definitely come to that one, and let's see if we can pick his brain again on that day as well. All right, next question. Well, it's not really a question, but AJ said the parts platform looks phenomenal, and Joe followed up and said the parts program, when can we get our hands on that? So, Chris, are you still there? Curious about that one.
Paging Chris.
Chris, are you there?
Chris, come to the microphone.
Boy, he wasn't kidding when he said he was going to be difficult to get a hold of.
Paging Chris. Chris, please answer. Chris, paging Chris.
That's too funny. Hey, I can speak to that a little bit. So,
oh, good. Thanks, Shaun.
Yeah.
Hey, Shaun needs to turn the lights on at his place.
No, I have it covered just because here you guys go. There you go.
Much better. Thank you, sir. All right, so what do we know about this parts program? AJ said he got a sneak peek at it, and he said it looks phenomenal. But Joe wants to know when he can get his hands on it. What do we say?
Yeah, it's super cool. So it will be ready to deploy with the first batch of Chrysler stores, what I've been told. So the active demos are happening now. So any dealers that actually haven't seen it that want to see it, you can reach out to me. We can set that up for you. But yeah, if you want a full-blown, millions of pages of parts content with a cart on your website, there's also a plus version of this where you can have a full eBay store as well. But if you just want it found within your actual site, it's the coolest thing I've seen in years. It is absolutely it expands the, if you're going to do a brake job on a vehicle and you're looking for brake rotors, it will show you just like what the technicians would be looking at to see how to isolate specific parts, left, right side of the car, you name it. So it's very cool. Should be ready to roll out with the first batch of SCA stores. So probably about 45 days.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Okay, follow-up question, Greg, from our last question. A lot of people wrote in. They said, where is that video? I don't see the video. Can you send me a link to yesterday's Wednesday workshop? Where can we find that video?
So they can go to our Twitter account. We've tweeted out links to it. They could go to our Facebook account. We've put the video on Facebook, and they can also just go to the blog on our site. So go to DealerOn.com/blog or go to DealerOn.com and then hit about and then go to blog, and it's the most recent thing on the blog.
All right, audience, you heard that. If you can't find it, write back in and let us know. We'll see if we can help you some more, okay? Okay, let's see. Adam says, are the fixed ops, specifically digital retailing end-to-end, will they be available in Canada?
That's a good question. I don't know if digital retailing is going to be in its first wave available in Canada, but we'll get an answer. Can we get an email address so that we can get back to you on timeline? Because I don't know right now, and I hate talking out of both sides of my face. So, yeah, we'll get you an answer on that. I don't think in the first launch that it will be available in Canada. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, if I recall correctly, the FCA program is not in Canada yet. It's only in America.
Yeah, but the digital retailing component that Chris was speaking is available to non-FCA dealers as well.
Ah, beautiful. Okay. Well, hopefully we can get Chris back on the line and maybe he will know the answer to that question. All right. So let's keep going. All right. The next question comes in from Andy. He says, I heard that Google is going to allow emojis in pay-per-click ads. Have you heard about this? That's right.
Andy. Andy must read some of the same places that I read from. Like I love Search Engine Land, where Greg is a writer. Search Engine is also another favorite of mine. And I did see something. I want to say this is within the last week or two, and I read an article about this. So here's the quick takeaway. Yes, there were a couple of ads, one of which I think was in Germany. I don't know if I've even seen one in the States yet that has emojis in it, but yeah, there have been a couple. Sometimes that suggests that Google's playing around with something and they might bring it. Back in 2015, they kind of played around with it and they shut it down, but now they may be reintroducing. So I would just say watch. Anytime you start to see things like that, you'll notice that it's either a precursor to them allowing everyone to use it, or they're just playing around with things and you happen to see it at that time. So no official announcement yet, and technically I think it's still actually a restricted behavior within the AdWords platform.
Okay,
so
let's just get to let's just talk about this though. Are emojis actually a good idea to put in a PPC ad? I mean, it's one thing if you can be allowed to do it, but should you be doing it?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. I would say that based on the research of putting emojis in subject lines that have happened over the last several years, and Greg's probably seen this too, it actually does have a positive impact oftentimes on click-through rate. Now, the other downstream metrics from there that are far more important than click-through rate, I think you would need to do some examination with that side of the coin. But as far as improving CTR, emojis do seem to have some impact there. Until it's something that's mass adopted and it's actually in the AdWords platform, and then you can do testing on it, it's just it's a cool shiny new button that there's very little research on. So we shall see if they put it out there. I mean, the one that I did see an example of did have a little car emoji in I think Germany.
I thought we were just talking like poop emojis and smiley faces and stuff like that, but no. Okay. All right, Stephanie wrote in. She says, I love using the emojis, but it probably isn't professional. Okay. Oh, Greg is shaking his head. All right. By the way, Kayla was the one who asked about more ideas for content for her blogs. And she says, so cool. I blog about everything from inventory, the best sandwich shops in our area, Valentine's Day ideas, etc. And I am seriously running out of ideas. Ha, ha, ha. I will definitely check out this video.
Hey, Kayla, are you coming to Digital Dealer?
Hey, Kayla, you coming to Digital Dealer? I don't know. She didn't write back in. Oh, she says, I don't think I will be able to make it, sad face. She used an emoji.
Well, you're going to miss out because for the first time ever, they've given someone a 2-hour presentation at Digital, and that someone is me. So I'm going to be talking about website content for the first hour of my presentation.
Wowza. That is, wow. Okay. Kayla says, maybe I can talk them into letting me go. Kayla, I hope so.
Yeah, I'll be spending an hour on on-site content and on-site signals and another hour on off-site signals when it comes to SEO. So it's going to be a pretty awesome presentation.
AJ just wrote in, he says, are you going to do like 3,000 slides in 2 hours? Because you do use a lot of slides, Greg.
It's probably going to end up being somewhere around 500 or 600 slides.
Still?
And it's going to be all Disney movies.
My favorite. Okay, AJ wants to follow up on this whole blogging thing. He says, how about blogging about cars and car stuff? Is that still good to get it? I mean, should we still be doing that?
Kinda, but the problem is what most people do is they're going to go and, hey, we've got the new F-150 coming out. Let's write another blog post about the F-150. And they go to Car and Driver and they just cut and paste that post, or they take that post and they kind of rewrite it, and they're like, check it out, we got the new F-150, and nobody really cares except the other car dealers. So it's more about writing stuff that when you go share that link on social media, is it stuff that the people that are following you really care about? If you feel like your audience wants that sort of information, then great. A lot of times people don't want to just hear about all the crap that you're selling. They want to hear about other stuff that's more interesting and more relevant to them.
Right. All right, AJ, you know we love hearing from you. By the way, Stephanie said, what is CPR? Is that cost per reach? Actually, I believe what Shaun had said was CTR. So that's click-through rate is what I believe he was alluding to. All right. So, all right, let's keep going. Great questions are coming in. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. This is a good one. This comes in from Michael. He says, this change with Google, with geo search is killing us. And dude, he used caps. It's serious. He's really upset. We are in a small town, and we need the draw from the larger cities around us. Do you have any suggestions? Help. Lots of exclamation points. All right.
Yes. You want me to do a strategy called local content silos? It would take me about an hour to explain it. But if you want to just shoot me an email, I can send you an explanation. I also wrote an article on Search Engine Land about it. So if you do a search for local content silos and just put Greg Gifford on it, it'll pop up my article from Search Engine Land. At a really high level, think of it almost like a microsite within your site. You have a siloed off little area of all of your important service pages and things that you're talking about that are not duplicates of the main pages, but well-written, unique versions of those pages, but those pages are optimized around that metro area and not around the city that you're in, and then you have to work on getting links from businesses in that metro area as well. So it's really, I mean, I know I said that in like 20 seconds, but it's incredibly complicated. It takes a ton of effort, and it takes a lot of time. So if you don't have someone on staff that is very, very good at SEO, if you're needing to show up in a city like that, then you're going to have to either hire someone internally that's really good at SEO and their entire job is doing SEO, or you're going to need to hire someone like us that actually really understands how to do this concept. Otherwise, you're not going to have much luck.
Okay. All right. So, Michael, I hope that helped you out. Now, Michael sent me his email address. He said, please send me links. So, Michael, it's going to be a little hard for us to do that right now, but why don't you email Greg directly? Is that all right, Greg?
Yeah, it's just ggifford at DealerOn. I mean, it's down there on the slide, ggifford at DealerOn.com. If you shoot me an email, I'll pop you some links.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Okay, Michael, if I were you, I would take advantage of it, and we wish you the best of luck on that. All right, if you have follow-up questions, that's what we're here for. We'd love to hear some more from you. Okay, next question comes in from Allison. Allison says, did the ad icon change for Google PPC ads? Oh, Shaun, where are you?
It did. I'm in the dark.
Why?
Yeah, it did. It was another observant PPCer out there. Yeah, it's no longer a solid green box with white text. It's now a white box with green text in it. and it kind of fits better with the ad format. If you're a big fan of the paid search side of the equation, then you're probably kind of excited about that because it certainly works better with that ad format. And it's been a year now that the right-hand rail has been gone, so it just appears that Google continues to kind of make the paid search results, I think, probably not. I don't want to say prominent, but they certainly are for smart advertisers and people that really know what they're doing with PPC. They're certainly making it easier for well-built campaigns to get good conversion rates, and they work well. So, yeah, that's a new change. And if you pay attention to stuff like that, you've probably noticed it change over the even last couple of years. From they had a yellow color for a while, then they went to a smaller version of that, and then the last one was a little green box with white text, and now it's a white box with green text. So, yes, that did change. I don't know that it's going to have a huge impact, but that is a pretty recent change with AdWords.
Okay, and we really would like it if you would uncover your webcam so we can actually see you. But thank you so much for the great question, Allison. And now that we're halfway through the show, I know this show is going fast, halfway through the show, I'm going to launch a poll question now. We only have one poll question today. It's on the screen now. We'd love it, audience, if you would take part in our poll question so we know what's happening over at your dealership. We want to know, how much do you currently spend on digital advertising per month? Did somebody say something? How much do you currently spend on digital advertising per month? So that's really all of your digital advertising. We're talking SEO, SEM, retargeting, anything you can think about that's digital, all right? So please select one of the following. Do you spend under $5,000 per month? Is it somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000? Somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000? Are you one of those dealerships that spend more than $20,000 per month on digital advertising? Or do you have no idea, or you just don't do digital advertising? We just want to know what's happening around over there at your dealership. Shaun, Stephanie is advising you to turn your webcam back on, otherwise the CIA will do it for you. So thank you, Steph. All right, once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. Audience, you guys are great. Thank you so much for all the votes. Wowza. All right, well, we're going to be able to close this session a little early. This is great. Thank you so much, audience. All right, here we go. 27% of today's audience say that they spend under $5,000 per month on their digital advertising. The majority, however, 39% of today's audience say they are somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 per month on their digital advertising spend. Only 6% of today's audience say that they're spending as much as $10,000 to $20,000. No one said they were spending more than $20,000. And only 3% of today's audience say they either have no idea or they just don't do digital advertising. All right. Thank you, audience, so much.
24%.
What did you say? Yeah.
I'm confused. I thought it said 24% said they were spending more than $20,000.
Oh, you're right. It does say that. That's so weird because when I looked at it, it said 0%. That is so strange. You're right. It does say 24% spent more than $20,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. Thank you for catching that.
That 24% is kicking major ass.
We would like to know, Greg would like to know, are you in fact kicking major butt?
I'm sure they are.
Ooh, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your votes. That's amazing, amazing information. We really appreciate it. Okay, now back to the questions. Oh, Stephanie says, yes, they're kicking major donkey. All right, here we go. Thank you so much for answering that. Okay, Mark says, I think we are, but I also think we could be doing better. I like the attitude, Mark. Keep it coming. All right. This question comes from David. David, I'm going to need you to get to your keyboard and just clarify exactly what we're talking about here. David says, can it only be put on DealerOn sites, or is it a standalone product as well? I'm wondering, are you talking about the parts program? Yes, you are. Okay, so the parts program,
yeah.
Do you need to have a DealerOn site in order to have it?
Yes, you do, Eliana. We integrate it into our website so that you get the maximum SEO value from all of the being listed, and also so that we can control the landing page experience if you're doing paid search. There may be a way in the future for us to provide it for non-DealerOn websites, but presently that's our solution that we're coming to market with.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, great that you're here, Chris, because there was a question that came up earlier and we weren't quite sure of the answer, so you weren't available. So now that you are, we're going to ask you again, this parts platform, is it available to dealers in Canada?
That is a question I'm not completely confident in the answer for. I believe it is, because I believe it is simply dependent on our feed from the manufacturer's catalog. There should be no limitations in terms of the e-commerce portion, but let me clarify and get back to you by the end of the webinar.
That would be wonderful. Okay, and Mark had a follow-up question as well. He says, if we do have a DealerOn site, how do we get it? How do we get this parts platform?
Call me.
Go ahead, Shaun.
Okay, Mark, I believe the answer is contact Shaun Rains. Is that right? There you go. All right. Okay, let's see. This is an interesting question that came in from Kayla. She says, if we have a website with DealerOn, do you guys automatically apply the things you are talking about at the conference and add it to our platform?
Great question.
What things that we're talking about at the conference?
Kayla, could you be more specific? Are you talking about like SEO specifically, for instance? Whatever you discuss that we should be doing for our website reach.
Well, I'm going to guess she means SEO and PPC, since that's what that's what we'll be talking about most of the time at conferences. Those are additional services, so that's not stuff that you get for free. SEO and PPC both take a significant amount of manual. It's butts and seats doing the work, and that's unfortunately not something we can just throw in for free at the price point that we charge for our sites. So you're pretty much not going to find any provider out there that does free PPC management or free SEO. It's something you're going to have to pay extra for.
Okay.
But that's not to say there isn't a lot of awesome stuff that's baked into our sites, because I've done as much as I can with working with our dev team to optimize the sites out of the box. Now, clearly having someone manual go in and touch it is going to be much better, but they are pretty well optimized right out of the box with what you get.
Okay. Kayla, I know you have questions in there. If you do, send them on in. All right. Great question, Kayla.
I just wanted to add, there are definitely elements to what Greg talks about when he's specifically hitting SEO, and when I'm talking about various things, like, for example, in paid search, the way we would set up ad groups, the way we would manage negatives. Like, some of those things are absolutely applied in the way that we actually execute. And then there's a lot of stuff that once you do sign up for the SEO package, Greg's team, the stuff that he talks about, they do all of that stuff. So it just depends on what you're signed up with. If it's just a website alone, just like Greg said, it's out of the box, optimized for searches. But you're going to have to obviously do a lot of work in terms of generating more traffic organically and through paid by the extra work. But yeah, the stuff that we talk about, we do make sure our teams actually are working on that stuff as well.
All right, so Kayla wrote in, she says that pretty much answers it. She's not sure what level website that she has with us, but she will go and check. All right, thank you so much. Okay, next question comes in from Lisa. Lisa, I like this question. Lisa says, can you give me an example of a website that has awesome SEO?
Yeah, any of the websites that we do SEO for are all.
Could you be more specific? You got one?
Great one.
You can give them?
Scott Clark's Toyota, off the top of my head, is a really good one, so I would go check that one out.
Lisa said, I could have figured that one out, Greg. When you said
Say what?
anyone that we do, when you said any website that we do has awesome SEO, she said, I could have figured that one out. So, okay, so Scott Clark Toyota is what you said?
Scott Clark. Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Okay, Scott Clark Toyota. Okay. Oh, people are saying, okay, thank you. What a Toyota? Yup. Okay, here we go. All right, Lisa, thank you so much for that question. Okay, AJ wrote in a complete parts catalog that you can then do AdWords campaign for. That constant binging you are hearing are parts orders coming in. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate that. Okay, next question is from Bruce. Bruce says, what would you recommend advertising-wise for a small 50-car independent used car dealer with a very small ad budget? Shaun? That's from Bruce.
Well, I would actually run that into we have a budget recommendation tool, actually. So instead of guessing on that stuff, we actually take just what you shared. Are you an independent? Are you a franchise dealer? Which franchises? Are you in a mass market? Are you selling any luxury vehicles? In your case, as an independent, selling about 50 cars a month. We would plug that into our budget rec tool and give you a specific number that would allow you to see really 3 different ranges, all the way up to, if you wanted to get into Facebook advertising, if you wanted to run some remarketing, all the way down to a basic search campaign, which is where you're going to get your biggest bang for the buck initially. So email me if you want, and I'll actually run that budget recommendation for you and send you a copy of it, and you'll have the methodology kind of behind it, and you'll be able to see, because I can't guess, because Eliana has me working the slides, I can't do it for you live. Send me an email.
You can do it live. I have no problem with that.
Well, I'll work it out for
And
you.
something else to think about too is if you're selling 50 cars a month and you've got a limited budget, if you get with someone that knows what they're doing and you spend that budget effectively, you're going to be selling more than 50 cars. And then once you continue to sell more cars, you can start, upping that budget incrementally, because if the budget's being spent correctly, there's no reason that you couldn't spend a ton more than you're spending right now, because if you're spending that money and you're selling cars because you're doing it right, then you're going to have more budget to spend. So, start small and get bigger.
Yep.
Bruce?
And what city you're in is really important too, knowing what kind of competition you have around used cars, because most folks doing PPC for dealers are either doing a combination of dynamic run used car campaigns, which basically takes your used car inventory and plugs it into AdWords and automatic. It's what Jack and Dealer.com for years.
Oh, he says Baltimore.
To do that, yeah. Or they're taking what you actually sell based on your most popular units, and they're building a more custom approach to a used car campaign, which oftentimes will drive a better cost per lead than the dynamic stuff. But there's definitely some couple of intricate things on doing that right based on your size. So email me, and it's free. I'll do the recommendation for you and send it to you today.
Bruce, I would totally take him up on that, sir. Yes, free. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, Bruce, and good luck. All right, next question. I think it's a social question. Here we go. Comes in from Kayla. She says, I manage all of our social media accounts. Of course, we utilize Facebook on a regular basis as our primary social media, but when it comes to another social platform for reaching customers, would you suggest we direct our energy and attention to Twitter or to Instagram? Greg?
Can you read that again? It popped up that Stephanie emailed me and was saying thanks for the webinar, so it distracted me from your question. I'm sorry.
Stephanie's making me laugh over here too. Oh, she says she's sorry. Okay, let's try this again. Kayla wants to know, okay, she loves Facebook. She's doing a lot on Facebook. She wants to know if she wants to add another social platform into the mix, should she direct her attention to Twitter or to Instagram?
I would definitely go Twitter over Instagram. Twitter users tend to be more educated and more affluent than any other social media platform. So when you're going why is Shaun pulling his hair out over there? Shaun doesn't agree with me.
Shaun, you want to step in? Go ahead.
I would go Twitter first. It's not hard to get active on Twitter and do well on Twitter. If you want to try Instagram, you can. Instagram's great for ads, but unless you're a Highline brand or like a Jeep dealer or someone that tends to have a little bit more involved customer base, Instagram doesn't really do a whole lot for car dealers.
Shaun, did you want to add anything?
I'm a big fan of both. I just am becoming a bigger fan of Instagram as it has made some changes where now it's eating away at Snapchat's market share because you can use stories there. Plus, Instagram's owned by Facebook, and so now the ad formatting and throwing up ads into more specific targets on Instagram is one where I wouldn't throw a bunch of money at it, but it is a place where if you've got exploratory funds for digital marketing, it's one where I would experiment with both. It's not because I don't like Twitter. I do like Twitter. I'm, of course, not as...
was she asking about, like, advertising or just organic use?
They love Facebook. They would want to do a little bit more around social, which channel to invest more in.
So if
Twitter
she's talking about advertising, I would 100% go Instagram over Twitter. I thought she was asking about just organic use.
Well, there, you have your answer, Kayla. If it's organic, likes Twitter, but if you're going to put some money behind it, Instagram. Does that help you out?
100%. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, she says, yes, thank you very much. I just want to point out that next week's presenter is actually here today. It happens to be Gabrielle Garrison from Facebook, and she just wanted to write in and say, I like Kayla. Thanks, Gabrielle. I'll see you next week. All right. So, all right, let's keep going. Kayla, you got follow-up questions? We're here for you. Okay, next question comes in from Amy. Amy says, do you recommend reducing the SEM spend and adding engagement help on the site like Pure Influencer?
Great question. I never recommend decreasing SEM spend because it's the fastest way for you to be in front of your customers, and it's one of, if done right, if DealerOn's doing it, then you're getting a really low cost per lead and you're getting a high quality lead just based on how we do paid search. So that said, services like Pure Influencer can have a really good impact on your conversion rates of your site. So I'm not in favor of cutting the SEM budget to put it there, only because your SEM budget's what's going to bring them onto that site in the first place. So, you know, I would probably find a way to afford both, but cutting back your SEM spend, I think I would only do it if you've already proved that who you're using is doing a terrible job, and maybe cut it while you make a change, but then build it back up. Typically not a, and I don't know your specific situation, but I'm typically not a big fan of cutting your SEM budget unless the data proves that you're overspending or it could be reallocated better.
Is there a point at which you can overspend with SEM? I mean, is there a point of diminishing return at some point? Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yep.
Because of your location?
Well, I mean, there's only so many searches. It's a numbers game. There's only so many people that are going to search for a Ford Mustang in, you know, north of Boston every day, every week, every month, every year. So you're buying impressions, your ads, to be showing up when people are making those searches. Well, if you're buying so many that, you know, there aren't that many searches, then there's diminishing return. And it can be in not just that example. You could have a diminished return based on trying to chase ridiculous impression share mandates from your OEM. Some of that's going on right now. You could be in a diminishing return because you're spending way overspending and you're in a more rural market. You don't have a lot of competition. You could be having a diminished return related to brand terms, model specific stuff. I mean, it's a lot of different ways that you could overspend.
Okay, Amy did write back in and she says, but what if your traffic is high but your conversion is low? That sounds like a conversion problem.
Yeah, and that's what.
But even still, if you're going to cut your budget, your traffic won't be high anymore.
Yeah, right. but if you don't have good conversion, why bother trying to bring more traffic through? You got to fix the conversion problem and then bring the traffic through. No?
Yeah, obviously this is a question of whether or not the dealers could accomplish the same number of sales with that diminished amount of traffic while they try to find out if pure influencer or others like whatever conversion optimization result they're trying to get, would they be sacrificing sales even though their conversion rates aren't great when they substantially, take down their budget? So, and it's such a, it's a very unique and exclusive situation to know more about it. How much are you spending? What's really been going on? What are the trends? Is it on a DealerOn site? Is it the DealerOn site itself that isn't performing well, that you are using some of the other conversion tools out there, Pure Influencer being one of them that, does a great job? There's just a lot to consider. You certainly don't want to slash your SEM budget, which might be bringing significant high-quality opportunities into a low conversion environment anyway. But if that particular source is selling you 4 cars or 5 cars or whatever that number is a month, and you cut it and it takes you down to 2, and your conversion tool didn't do any better, or maybe it converted other opportunities that were different somewhere in your funnel, there's just a lot of things. I mean, conversion optimization is legit. It's a real thing, but I don't know that I would cut high quality traffic. That is the key, correlates to more sales is your traffic. I don't know that I would cut anything that's boosting my traffic or sustaining my traffic in pursuit.
Yeah, I would. I'm sorry, Shaun. I was just going to say that I totally agree with Shaun. And really, if your traffic isn't converting, it's a website and a conversion problem, unless you're just buying garbage traffic. So it could be one of two things. But if you've got a good website provider and you've got a good digital agency, you really shouldn't have an issue there. And if one of those isn't working out for you, then you need to find a better provider for one or both of those. Sorry
Okay.
about that, Shaun.
All right, thank you so much. Boy, we had a lot of comments on that. AJ wanted to know if you're bringing the traffic into the site through proper pages, and Dan said traffic that isn't captured somehow is not valuable. Okay, we're gonna follow up on this one, Amy. I'm gonna see how we can help you out. All right. All right. Next question comes in from Mark. Mark says, "What is the advantage of using our provider for pay-per-click as opposed to an outside company like Haystack?"
Well, there's a handful of reasons. For us, I think one of the most impressive features is that when we provide paid search for our clients, it also allows us to be able to give them sales feedback based on what's happening on the campaign. So we can literally track back to sales by getting involved with the dealership at a CRM and or DMS level. And we have dealers that have us do this. Some of them do post-sale reports that they send us, and then we can, find it out from there. Others have a much more integrated approach. But it's worth it, in my opinion, as a dealer, to take the time with somebody like DealerOn to integrate this type of setup so that you can truly see how your paid search, all of your digital advertising is affecting sales. So I think that's really important. The other parts are, when you've got one place to call and they happen to own the landing environment, I think that is equally, probably both of these items I think are really important. But when you don't own the landing environment, you're going to always come up against other challenges. How well can you track things? What kind of data can you really get from wherever you're landing that traffic? Does the place that you're trying to land traffic play nicely with you? Are you working with a provider that, let's say you're also doing SEO, or you have model research pages being built, which DealerOn does specifically on our site, and maybe you're tying in some things there. All of that helps when it's one single provider. It's a great question, though, because for years and years and years, most of the website providers that got started and then decided to add paid search are not really that good at paid search. Even if you bought that company and made it part of your existence, most of those platforms, if you actually do a true analysis on them, you'll find that they're far too automated. So yeah, the integration points, tracking back to sales is huge, and having one environment that is, I think, the easiest place to do all of kind of the optimization work is also really important, especially because when you control the landing environment, that means everything.
Thank you so much for that answer. And Mark, do you have a follow-up? Oh, he says, then who should I reach out to? Oh, thank you. Who should I reach out to?
A PPC perspective or digital advertising, you can reach out to me. And if it's on the SEO side of the house, always reach out to the Beard. And if on the digital advertising side, if we need to have you, connect with anybody else from the team, we can make that happen. But you can use me as the point of contact.
All right. Thank you so much. Great question, Mark. Okay, now it looks like we have a slew of SEO questions coming up. So, for instance, this one came in from Dan. He says, we have a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep store. Currently, the URL is robertgreenchrysler-dodge-jeep.com, but it's too long, and I'm advocating for separate URLs for each franchise, i.e. robertgreenjeep.com, robertgreendodge.com, etc. Will having redirects to a single site significantly impact SEO? Should we be thinking about separate sites for each franchise? What is your recommendation? This is from Dan.
I would definitely not recommend splitting up separate sites, because then if you're Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, now you're going to have 4 sites instead of 1, so it's going to quadruple your costs on website hosting or website provider, SEO, and SEM's going to have to expand as well. So I don't think that's a good plan, and besides, every other dealer that's a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealer has all of them on the same site. And there's also a lot of value associated with the history of that domain name. If you don't like the fact that it's too long, you're probably more worried about what you're doing in your offline advertising than what you're doing in online, because the length of your domain doesn't really have any play in how you show up in searches, or what pages are going to show up when people are searching for keywords, or what you're going to send people to with pay-per-click. So if you're worried about the length of your domain, you're probably more worried about what you're putting on your business cards or what you're putting in print, radio, TV, offline sort of stuff. If that's the case, then sure, grab another domain name and call it Jim Bob CDJR or whatever. It doesn't matter. And then have that just redirect. That's not going to have any play. It's not going to matter as far as SEO goes, but it makes marketing a little bit easier for you guys. So it's really, if that's really truly your question is, hey, it's too long, I would guess you're probably dealing with offline situations, in which case it doesn't really matter what you do. If you want to have something like that, sure, great. I definitely wouldn't recommend splitting it up into separate sites.
Okay, Dan, if you have a follow-up question, we're here for you. We only have a couple more questions left, and then we'll start a giveaway, and then we'll start closing out the show, all right? Thank you so much, Greg. Your next question comes in from Mike. He says, I saw your Wednesday workshop about the new local search ranking factors. Can you give us a little more info on what that study is?
So that study is a yearly study, except they skipped it last year. But it's a yearly study that is conducted to try to figure out what the best factors are that will influence how you rank in local searches. And methodology-wise, what they do is they take the top 40 people worldwide in local search, and they send this big long questionnaire out. And we basically, it has several different sections, and in each section we have to rank what we feel like are the most important ranking signals. It's not, a lot of people in the search industry complain that it's opinion-based, and I mean, I guess sort of, but you don't really know what's in Google's algorithm, and the best way to do it is to ask those experts that know, hey, if I tweak this little symbol or this little thing over here, then that's going to make this site rank better. And so because we're doing this day in and day out, we know what's going to make a difference. They then aggregate all of these answers, and you get your local search ranking factor study results. And so that was just released at MozCon Local a week ago, and they're putting a blog post out. I'm not sure when Moz is putting the blog post up, but it should be soon. And that will kind of outline everything. This year they broke it into 2 separate ranking factor groups. So you've got one set of ranking factors for local searches that show up with that 3-pack or in map searches, and another set of ranking factors for the localized organic. The main thing is that with the local searches for the 3-pack or in map searches, the number one factor is proximity of the address to the point of search. So in other words, how close your business is to the person doing the search is the number one factor. So if you're conducting a search on your computer, the most important, most weighted factor of what's going to show up in that 3-pack and in that local results page is how close those businesses are to your current location. So that's been a really big change. Links have also now become the most important factor beyond proximity. So in the past, content was more important than links. Now it is clear that,
oh my gosh,
that links are more important than content. So
I feel like dealers aren't doing enough about links.
Most dealers don't do anything with link building, and most automotive SEO providers don't do anything with link building. So if you're with a provider that's not really doing anything for link building, or if they say they're doing it, they're basically going and filling out a couple of directory listings and saying, you got a link from this one, you're going to be sadly lacking when it comes to results from SEO moving forward. So you've got to make sure that you're either working with a vendor that does link building, or that you're really investing in link building at the dealership level, or you're going to fall behind really quickly.
Right, right. Oh boy, that is a huge change. All right. Thank you so much, Greg. Mike, I hope that answer gave you a lot of information. Okay, I want to backtrack a little bit and do a couple of updates on some past questions that we had. So for instance, Dan wrote back in and he said, I was told, and he's the one that had the long URL, he said, I was told that Google treats redirects negatively in search results. Is that accurate, or is that not the case?
So if you, well, I mean, it depends. If you're going to go get another URL, like let's say you just got ourjeepstore.com and just had it redirect to your actual long URL so that you could put ourjeepstore.com on all of your different marketing materials, Google's not even going to see that URL or care about that URL, because that URL is not going to show up when people do searches. That's why I was saying it's purely an offline thing. Now, if you were to switch from one URL to another URL completely and not use the old URL anymore, and then you set up 301 redirects, that would say, hey, look, if this link pointed to this old domain name, but now it needs to point to this new domain name, then yes, you will lose a little bit of value there. But if you're going to maintain that old name and just get the new name for your offline marketing, Google's not even going to care.
Okay. Dan, thank you so much for that. I hope that follow-up helped you out. Okay, before we go any further, Chris, I want to bring you back on to answer Adam's question that we had earlier. So Chris, let me know when you're here. And Adam, if you'll recall, had asked about that parts platform and if it was available in Canada. And we do have an update on that. Chris?
Yeah, so I checked with our team, and it is available in Canada. So if you're a Canadian dealer and you're interested in beta testing it on our platform, we would love to work with you.
Ooh, to beta test it? Oh, yes, yes. That sounds like an awesome idea. All right, Adam. Adam actually has a follow-up question that has to do with SEO. Now, Greg, we were just talking about link building and how we're pretty sure a lot of dealers aren't doing enough of it, but that it's very, very important right now. So Adam wrote in, so if we want to tackle SEO internally, what are your recommendations to start link building? And before you answer, I do want to get to this comment that Chris came in with. He says, we get links with our local nonprofits that we work with, and it has helped us a lot. So, Greg,
that's huge.
What other things can we give Adam to work on? I
could do an entire hour-long webinar on local link building.
We might have to.
At a really high. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to. I mean, there's no way I can answer that quickly and easily right now because we're kind of out of time, but it's something that you basically are going to need a full-time person doing your SEO. It's not something you can just say, hey, Internet Manager, go get me some links. It's difficult. It takes a lot of manual effort, a lot of follow-up, a lot of outreach. But basically, like the other guys, if you have any sort of volunteer work that you do or any sort of sponsorships that you do, those are going to be super easy to get. Anything that's community related is going to be a pretty easy way to get a link. You want to try to get as many links from local businesses as possible.
Okay, Adam, you heard me. And you know what, audience? I'm hearing from a number of people who are writing in and saying, I would sign up for that. Link building webinar, sign me up. Yes, we need that. So Greg, let me know when we can do that together, my friend. Okay. Obviously,
Why don't we have Steve do that on the 20th?
Hey, I'm okay with that. April 20th? I know. We're going to have Steve on there. You and Steve will come on and do it?
Sure. Steve can handle it.
Steve can handle it? Steve is good. He's
Yeah.
really sharp guy. Okay, so it looks like April 20th is the date, everyone. Put it on your calendar. We're going to do, oh, look, all these people want to sign up for it. I love it. All right. I haven't posted it yet. I just know that that's the date. All right, so it's April 20th. It's a Thursday, and we'll be doing it on link building just for you. All right. All right, next question. Oh, Christopher wrote in. He says, for Chris, what is the pricing feature he mentioned at the top of the show? What's it called? When's it available? And who do I get it from? Chris, that's from Chris.
Sure. So that's what we call our Incentive Pro add-on. So just reach out to either someone like Shaun, or if you have an account manager that you work with, or a client results person that you currently work with at DealerOn, just reach out to that person and ask if they could show you a few examples of other dealers that are presently using it, so that you can better understand whether it is, exactly what you're looking for. But that would probably be the best way to begin that process.
Okay, Christopher, thank you so much. If you have a follow-up question, we're here. Okay, couple more questions, then we'll give away a prize and close out the show. Here we go. David wrote in. He says, what is a solid impression share that we should be trying to reach?
Well, I always tell every dealer to chase 100%. You'll never get there, but if again, it kind of depends on your market, how many competitors you have. But if you're in the 70s, I'm probably okay with that. And it will also depends on when those impressions are showing up. I'm not a big fan of paying for those to show up through the night and early morning hours. But if you're in the 70 percentile, I'm probably okay with that. But we chase 100%, and we've got dealers that are in the 80 percentile. It depends. I mean, if you don't have what's the biggest way to increase your impression share? Budget. So every time you have that conversation with the dealer, they usually think that you're trying to put your hand in their wallet. But the truth is that if your impression share is low, the easiest way to impact it is by spending more. It just means that there's more on the table, and you've got to put more money in the bank to go after it. But yeah, it's a little bit different for every dealer. But if you're in the 70 percentile, I'm probably okay with that. But I'm always interested in knowing when that kind of question comes up: is where are you? What kind of cars do you sell? How difficult is the competitive landscape with you in your area with other dealers? All of those things kind of would factor into my final decision, but
okay.
Hopefully that.
So you can chase 100. You're okay with 70. So basically, like a fifth grade score, right? So if you can get 80, that's B. If you can get 90, it's an A. Is that right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and we see dealers all the time that just based on what they have to spend, that are not in the 70s. I'm just telling you where, if it's me and it's my dealership, then I'm chasing 100%, but I also know that my paid search is not being managed by a bunch of trained monkeys that don't really know what they're doing with the money. That's companies like DealerOn, we actually get a fraction, like a set price. We don't, it doesn't even fluctuate. So we get this to spend all of this for the dealer. And if you don't know how to manage those budgets the right way, including around impression share, then you're definitely missing out. So yeah. But feel free to email me. I'd love to talk to you more about it and kind of what your specific situation is too, if you're interested.
Okay, so David wrote in, he says, we're currently in the 70s, but before we go to the next question, Shaun, don't you offer an audit?
Yeah, we do. If you've never, and Greg does too, we do this both on the SEO and the SEO sides of the business. If you're ever interested in having an audit done, it's a little bit more challenging with AdWords because we have to have access to your AdWords account, not just analytics. If we have access to your AdWords account, then we can give you some really good data points. We can give you a few things with just an analytics view. But if you can get us even read-only access to AdWords, then yeah, we can give you a PPC audit that will really give you a good idea of how well you're doing, how well your vendor's doing, and you can use that as a report card to go back, challenge them a little bit, or maybe see how we would do a better job.
All right, and how much does this audit cost?
Oh,
$1 million.
$1 million.
The audits are free. That's just part of
Audits are free, my friend. I would take advantage of that. Anyone out there who's listening, I think that's a great idea. All right, last couple of questions, and then we will give away a cool prize. All right, this one comes in from Paul. Paul says, you said in the video last week that the ranking factors have changed. What's the important stuff we need to know so we can update our strategy?
So, like I mentioned a minute ago, number one factor in map packs, or the little 3-pack or searches of the map, number one factor is how close you are to the searcher. You can't influence that. There's nothing you can do about that. But beyond that, links are incredibly important. I can't stress that enough. You've got to make sure you're getting good links. Your content has to be amazing. Reviews are really important. So you have to make sure that you've got great reviews on Google, both number-wise and content-wise. So the sentiment of the reviews, what people are saying in the reviews has to be good. Please stop faking reviews. I wrote a post on Search Engine Land this month about how bad car dealers are for faking reviews. I think I put a video up on the site about it as well. You've got to make sure
I'm sure it was very gentle.
Be legit with your reviews, so reviews are really important. Make sure your directory listings are filled out. That's a pretty foundational thing, but it's something that a lot of dealers haven't done and aren't doing. It's also really important to make sure that you're not blowing out your categories. In your Google My Business listing, Google lets you put 10. That doesn't mean you should put everything you can. I see dealers all the time that put things in there like appraisal service. Okay, you're not an appraisal service. You're a car dealer. So just because you appraise used cars doesn't mean you should put appraisal service in there. If you've got conflicting categories like that where you're trying to fill out more stuff, but it's really not the same business type, that's going to hurt your visibility as well. But main thing is make sure that you've got links both from industry sites and from local sites. Make sure you've got awesome content. Make sure you've got great reviews. Make sure you've got great reviews on third-party sites too. Don't just concentrate on Google. That's really the most important stuff that's updated. Okay, and AJ just wrote in, he said, Greg, you're suggesting local links, not just citations, right? Oh yeah, like citations and links are different things. You've got to get links that are independent of directories. All right, April 20th, we're going to dive into this a little deeper. All right. Oh, thank you so much. All right, really fast, and then we'll do the giveaway. Beth wrote in, he says, hey, Shaun, do you have any favorite new PPC campaign tips? Got any new stuff?
Yeah, sure. So there, yeah, sure, I'll give you two, actually. Personal favorites. Ones that well, first, add extensions. So I'm a big fan of the message extension that's come out. Mobile click-through rates are not always so great. The message extension seems to be performing pretty well. If you're not familiar with the message extension within AdWords, it's specific to your mobile ads. It basically lets the user tap to start a conversation with you, and it has to be synced up with a mobile phone at the dealership. So there's a little bit more I guess, prep work and just making sure everything's set up right. You've got a dedicated phone, who's going to have it, but I'm a big fan of that. If you're not doing it, you should start testing some campaigns with that. And then another one I'll just throw out is I've always been a big fan of targeting high-income consumers. If you're selling high-line, luxury, exotics, there are some, I think, really prudent ways to help high-line, exotic, and luxury brands perform really well, and that's one of them that you can do. I don't believe, unless AdWords has changed this, and I don't think they have, I think it means that you won't be able to do specific zip code targeting if you do income level-based targeting, but you literally can target the top 10% in terms of income in campaigns. And so, you know, just the flexibility of having really smart ads set up and a really smart campaign, I think that's really good. And that's literally, I mean, you hit the all settings within AdWords, and it's a couple clicks into their advanced search, and you can get to that feature. It's just not utilized a lot in auto. It's one of my favorites if you happen to be Highline or luxury.
All right. Thank you so much. Great question, Beth. All right, Shaun, if you wouldn't mind moving those slides forward, and we are going to get to the giveaway now. What? It's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, I announced that our good friends over at AutoHook are sponsoring this week's webinar giveaway. AutoHook is a showroom traffic driver, and they've built the ultimate attribution engine. Tracks the customer through the lead, the showroom visit, and the purchase, and then delivers a cost per sale that's best in the industry. One lucky webinar attendee is going to win a $250 e-gift card from AutoHook. Woo, I could use that. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to need to get to your keyboards and answer this giveaway question first in order to win. Now, if you're a vendor, we're going to ask you to kindly sit this one out. This prize is intended for dealership personnel only, but we love having you on our DealerOn webinars. We certainly do. So here we go, everyone. Good luck. I got to get my answers out for this. Hold on. There we go. All right. We want you to name 5 of the OEMs that DealerOn currently is an official certified website provider for. You need to name 5. And just so you know, there's 15. So you got a pretty good shot of guessing if you want to try. But we need you to name 5. Let's see if this is... What?
Make car, Daewoo.
No, not Daewoo. I don't think. All right, let's see. The first person wrote in, ooh, so close, so close. The first person wrote in Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Honda, Ram. I don't believe Honda is one of ours. It's not on my list. Right, gentlemen? No.
That is correct, Eliana. Honda has an open program.
Wait, that is correct? He's a winner?
No, I said
No.
that is, you were correct.
Okay, he's not a winner. I'm sorry, you're not a winner. Okay, let's keep going. No, that's not 5. That's not 5. Okay, VW, Mini, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge. Is that right? VW, Mini,
Ding,
Jeep,
ding, ding.
Chrysler, Dodge. Hey, Max Nunn, you are a winner today, my friend. Woo, woo, Max Nunn. Congratulations, Max. What dealership are you from, sir? And just so you know, here's my list of all of the, what? That's a lot. Okay, let's see. Just so you know, all the OEMs that we are officially providers for: Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan, VW, Acura, Toyota, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Kia, Mini, Mitsubishi, Fiat, and Alfa Romeo. Wow, that is a lot. Okay. Congratulations to Max Nunn, our winner. I have no idea. Oh, he's with Volkswagen of St. Augustine. Congratulations, Max. You're going to be getting your prize directly from our good friends over at AutoHook. They're going to be emailing it to you like in a few hours. You're going to have it. So it's really, really awesome. Now, for all the rest of you, yes, we had one prize today. But you know what? We give away cool prizes every week. So come on back to another DealerOn webinar, and who knows? That could be the day that you win a very cool prize on a DealerOn webinar. For right now, we're going to congratulate Max Nunn from VW of St. Augustine. And of course, we got to thank our good friends over at AutoHook for their incredible generosity. And for more information about AutoHook, you can check out driveautohook.com. All right. Before we sign off, gentlemen, Greg, Gifford, Shaun Rains, and of course, Chris Deringer, any final thoughts you want to leave the audience with? Of course, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here today.
Everybody should keep an eye on our blog and social media in the next few months. I am in the process of a massive reverse engineering of the local algorithm project. We're testing about 185,000 keywords in 150 different cities, resulting in about 3 million search results. We'll be checking about 125 data points on each of those 3 million search results, so that we will have a really good correlation study in the next few months that shows what really matters for car dealers to show up in local searches.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. By the way, we had a special request from Stephanie. She wants to see your newest tattoo, and she would like you and Shaun to stroke your beards. Dance for her. I'll stroke my beard. Okay.
see if we can do this.
Is that your newest? What is that?
It's all reflecting. It's the scene from Goonies where
From
Chunk is
Goonies.
stuck in the refrigerator.
I thought it was from Goonies. Oh
So-
my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's hard to see with that. Hold on, let's see if we can get this reflection there.
I see it. I see it.
No, the reflection's still there.
You're just going to have to come
It's too hard for
by
me to show my legs. It's all wrapped up. Yeah, my legs all wrapped in plastic right now. So
booth 411 at Digital Dealer and come and see it in person, I suppose. All right. Thank you so much, Greg.
I'll actually have another one by then too.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I'll be there. I'm going to see it in person. We want to thank everyone. By the way, if you'd like to tell people about this recording, we will have it posted within 24 hours at DealerOn.com. Just go to DealerOn.com/webinars, and from there you can view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars too. Please make sure you tell all your friends and your coworkers about it. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to get a short survey. Real short. Seriously, it's 3 questions. Please fill out our survey. We want to know what you thought of today's presentation. So please fill out that survey. And yes, DealerOn is headed to Tampa. Shaun, you can move those slides forward anytime now, my friend. Just a few weeks for the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention. It's April 11th
Moving on his camera.
through the 13th. We're going to be bringing some serious heat to Tampa. We're giving away $50 for pre-scheduling a demo at the show. That's not all. Shaun Rains and Greg Gifford are going to be there too. They're going to be giving in-depth presentations that are going to rock your world. And so if you stop by booth 411, Greg is going to hand you a hard copy of his new book that he wrote on local SEO. It's over 60 pages of awesomeness. You're not going to want to miss that. Remember, booth 411, I'm going to be there. He's going to be there. We're all going to be there. We hope to see you there as well. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. Woo, it's a doozy. How to sell cars and advertise on Facebook like a boss 2.0. That's right. Facebook is far and away the most popular social networking site in the world. And when you make advertising opportunities available to businesses a few years ago, it left many dealerships wondering, can you actually achieve real business results with Facebook advertising? The answer is absolutely yes. To find out how to sell cars and advertise on Facebook like a boss 2.0, we're bringing you the goods direct from Facebook. Gabrielle Garrison from Facebook is going to introduce a variety of different tools and tricks that will take your Facebook campaigns to the next level. In this exciting 1-hour webinar, she's going to discuss in detail what's new and hot, as well as trends on Facebook that you need to be ready for in 2017. This is not your basic webinar for beginners. This is an advanced presentation about Facebook advertising that has potential to put you in the fast lane of automotive digital marketing. This jam-packed session will highlight the opportunities on how to utilize Facebook to dramatically increase online results and measure offline sales for your sales department. And it seriously could very well be the social media game changer that you've been waiting for. If you're ready to hear how to sell cars and advertise on Facebook like a boss, don't you dare miss this presentation. Register now. Don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you have questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, hey, contact me directly. I'd love to hear from you. My name is Amirrezvani, and I'm everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, you name it. I'm everywhere. You can track me down online. Or you know what? You can just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on another webinar in our continuing education series. Take care, everyone. Mwah.
Bye.